Hey there, good evening. Adrian here with Quantum Leap Consulting. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds or so to see who actually manages to make it way in today. So let's just let that run and let's see. I really hope everybody has had an awesome day today. I know I have. I've spent most of the day today sitting by the pool and out in the sunshine. So it's been an amazing day for me. So let's give it another 10, 20 seconds and see. Give some people some time to get in. And yeah, so then we'll start. Lucky enough to be outside again today in the sunshine. I'll apologize in advance in case some really loud birds are tweeting in the background, or there are some other things happening. Good evening, Shama. Thank you for showing up again. Great to see you here. Cool. So with that, we will start for today. So today is day two. Welcome to day two of the Master Your Success Mindset Masterclass. It is fantastic to be able to go live and to share this information with people. Um, I say I've had a fantastic day today, in both sitting in the sunshine, going for a walk, etc., and I really had an amazing day, and I hope you guys did too. Today, we are going to talk about your self image and the role that your self image plays in your success or your lack of success. It's an amazing thing when you think about it. But I suppose to start off with, what we will do is we'll recap what we did and spoke about yesterday, and hopefully, um, some of you have been able to complete the task that I set you yesterday insofar as writing down your top ones. So if you're watching live, it'd be great to see you, Shama. I can see that you're watching live. If there's anybody else watching live, you can type in a comment and say live, or say hello with where you are, what part of the world you're in. There's a fantastic thing about working on the internet is that you're able to connect with people all over the world. I'm normally based in Ireland, but you can probably tell from what's behind me, I'm not in Ireland today. I don't generally get to sit outside in the sunshine in Ireland either. Um, so you can let me know where you are. Likewise, if you're watching back on a replay on either Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, because we're going live across all those three channels all at the one time. It's fantastic. The modern technology, I must say, they're making it very easy for us. So yesterday we spoke about goals, and in particular we spoke about setting goals and how to set goals, and when you're thinking about your goals, what sort of goals that you should set. If you remember from yesterday, we spoke about type A goals. Um, Shama, live in Warwick. Great to see you. Thank you. My geography of the UK is not great, so I'll look that one up after. Um, we talked about type A goals, type B goals, and type C goals. Type A goals generally are the goals that are us doing something that we know that we can do. So something that we've done before. And I gave the example yesterday of somebody who spoke to Baba after a seminar and told him that his goal was to buy a new car. And as it turned out, he had already had one of those exact same cars before in the past. So there wasn't any growth attached to the goal. And that is, as I said yesterday, the real reason why we have goals. We have goals in order to grow. And as a result of the growth, then we generally attract more into our lives. Um, so as we grow, we get better at various different things, whatever it is that we're working on. Like myself, I have been stepping outside of my comfort zone and been doing these sort of things, lives and going on the internet and recording myself. And as it stands out, I'm getting better and better at it. So it's the same thing for anybody. So the type A goal then is somebody who or you're going after something that you know that you can do because you've done it before and you're not causing yourself to grow. A type B goal then is something that you think that you're able to do. And the type B goal is you put together a plan and you say to yourself, if this happens and then this happens and then this happens, and all my ducks line up in a row, then of course I'll be able to achieve the goal. And again, it can be a good goal, it can be a stretch, and there can be growth in it. But what we find with type um, B goals is that there's generally not any real emotional connection to the goal. And it's the emotional connection that ensures that you actually complete the goal and you do what it is that you set out to do. For most people, if they set out and they create a type B goal, um, once there is a little bit of a speed bump in the road or something like that, then they will give up. Yeah. And it's easy to give up if you don't have that emotional connection, if it's not a burning desire within you in order to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. So, and then we get on to type C goals. And with these type C goals is the type C goal is when you have something that you have an emotional connection with. So you take your goal, you write it down on your goal card, you put it into your wallet or into your purse or into your bag, and you carry it around with you all the time. And it's the first thing you probably think about in the morning time. It's the last thing you think about when you go to bed at night time. And with that, it is because you are so emotionally connected with it, there is no way that you're not going to make it happen. Yeah, because come hell or high water, you are going to make that happen. Now, for me, when first set out with a goal and goals, if they don't sort of scare you a little bit, you're probably onto the wrong one. And it's that scare within you for the goal, which is causing you to grow. This is the growth piece that I keep talking about. It's getting you to step outside of yourself and outside of what you normally do. And that's what causes you to grow and to learn. So with people, if they're going back to college in order or going into college or into adult education, something that they may not have done before, this is causing them to grow and this is causing them to achieve more. And because they achieve more, then they get the trappings of this growth and of this achievement, which is the things that most people think we're out for in the first place. So um, anybody who's listening, and I hope you did actually sit down and do the exercise with setting out your getting your piece of paper, sitting down and really, really thinking about what it is that you want. I wanted to share a little story with you on that one. And that is that when I first started working on mindset and when I first started with the Proctor Gallagher Institute, my first person that I worked on was the person closest to me, which is my wife. Um, and I got her to sit down and to write out her top 100 ones. Um, Now, she struggled with it the same way as I did myself when I first did it, but she struggled with it because when she went to write down her top 100 ones, she was coming at it from a very logical perspective and from a very practical perspective. And she wrote down maybe 7 or 10 things, and then she stopped. That's as far as she got. And those 7 or 10 things were all really, really practical things for our kids, for our life together, for our house, but it wasn't anything that she actually really wanted. And this is where I sort of come in and I talk to people about it's using your imagination. You just got to let your imagination run free, and you can think about whatever it is that you want to achieve. And it doesn't have to be these practical things insofar as a nice safe car or a certain amount of money. Per month or whatever the case may be. And it can be anything. Like when I wrote down my list, I wrote down I want to learn how to fly a helicopter. I want to learn how to fly a plane. I want to travel to Indonesia or into India or the Far East, wherever the case may be. And those are things that I will work towards as my life goes on. Um, so but I took my list of 100 things and I narrowed it down. And Maria, my wife, has taken her list she did actually, once we got back on track with the bit of coaching, and she figured out that it was just to use the imagination and to let the imagination run free and to think back to what she wanted as a child. Um, that she got the list of 100, and then we narrowed that 100 down to 10, and then from that 10 we were able to choose one, and that one is what she's working towards. And that's the important thing, as I said yesterday about goals, is that you really need to start off thinking about one. Yeah, and that is your chief desire, and that's what you work towards. And once you have um, worked on that one and achieved that one, then you choose another one, another bigger and better goal. The great thing with Bob is because he was um, a practitioner of what he preached to people, and he spent his entire life. He took out a pen, and this is um, not as fancy a pen as what Bob always uses, but this is all you need in order to achieve anything. Is you need one of these, and you need a piece of paper. He sat down one day and he wrote down his definite chief aim in life, which was to operate a company, to run a company that operated in every country of the world. Now, it took him 60 years in order to get to that point. But before Bob passed, and a good bit before Bob passed, we had a company in PGI that operated in every country in the world. And that's the power of having a burning desire to achieve something, and the determination in order to make it work. And that's what the burning desire gives you. It gives you that determination that nothing is going to get in your way, nothing is going to stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. Cool. So we're going to move on then to today's topic, and today's topic is self-image. And self-image, I have a quote here. I'm going to put it up on the screen, which is from a guy called Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And Dr. Maxwell Maltz wrote a book back in the early 60s. He was a plastic surgeon, and people would come to him and ask him to perform some form of plastic surgery, and whether that would be to do a nose job, whether he might have a scar on their face or something like that that they might not be happy with, and he would perform plastic surgery and create a better nose, or remove the scar, those sort of things. And he noticed that sometimes people um, not only had that physical change of the actual operation being a success, but they also had a psychological change. And that led him to think that there are perhaps two images that people hold in their minds. And one of them being the image that they portray out to the world, which is how you look, how you dress, how you comb your hair, how you shave or don't shave, or you the makeup that you wear, and how you portray yourself to the world. And then the other image is the internal image, and this internal image affects and sets the boundaries of your success as to whether you firmly believe deep in your subconscious mind that you can or you can't achieve something. So he wrote a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, and it is a fantastic book, and it really, really does give a great insight into how the subconscious mind works and how the subconscious mind affects everything that you do. He reckoned that the self-image that we hold of our minds operates very much like a thermostat. Or my favorite analogy for it is like the autopilot on a plane. So, say for example, a pilot gets in a plane and they take off from Dublin, and their destination is, let's say, the Canaries, because that's where I am. So the pilot gets up to cruising altitude and he presses a button and he puts on the autopilot, and the autopilot will fly the plane directly from where it's after taking off to where it's going to, which is the destination. Now, as it's flying along, it might get bumped off course due to turbulence or whatever, and it might get blown off course, and the autopilot then brings it back on course, and it gets blown off course, and the autopilot brings it back on course. And that is a cybernetic mechanism. And the psycho-cybernetics is talking about how that mechanism, that self-image that we have of ourselves within our minds, controls what we do, and controls their success or lack of success. So we would quite often wonder to ourselves, why do I keep getting the same results over and over again? And the reason for that, more often than not, is because of our self image. If you, as a person, you have a limited self image or a poor self image of yourself, then most of the time, the results that you get are going to be poor results or limited results. If you have a positive self-image of yourself, the chances are that most of your results are going to be positive. And it's quite simple like that. When you were to think of, let's say, as a child that's growing up, and this is something that obviously as an adult, we've all gone through, and we've have these self images very deep inside our subconscious, and most of the time they're filled full of self-doubt and insecurities and what we'd call virus codes, and they prevent us from achieving what we want to achieve. But it can be changed, and it be changed in the same way as it was built in the first place. So let's say if we were to take a child, and a child who is being raised with criticism all the time, and constantly being told that they're doing bad things, or that they're not good enough, or the results that they're achieving, they're not working hard enough in school. I don't know if any of this sounds familiar for anybody, um, but anything like that, then that child is going to grow up into an adult, and that adult is going to be a very insecure adult. And the flip side of that is, if you are a child that has been raised with positivity, and positivity has been you, they're they have a much better self-image of themselves, and the image that, and they like themselves, and they understand themselves a lot more than a child that has been raised with negativity. And because of that confidence that they have within themselves, they have this innate ability to do and achieve the things that they want to achieve. Um, so if we have this negative image of ourselves within our subconscious minds, is it possible to change it? And I believe it is. And not only do I believe it is, everybody else in the PGI, the Project Gallagher Institute, believes that it is. Everybody who works in personal development around the world believes that it is. Um, so how do we do it? And it's a very good question. And how do we do it? And how we actually do it is that we start to build a new, what we call a life script. Yeah. This is an exercise that I've done a number of times, and I think it is an amazing, amazing exercise to do. If you were to, sit down yourself and to write down, pretend your life is a movie, and pretend that you are the star of the movie. And what you do is you sit down and you write the script of you, you write the script of your life in exactly the way that you want it to be, um, in as much detail as you possibly can. And this can be something whereby you sit down and you think about the type of person that you want to be, the success that you want to have. You talk about, or sorry, you write about the sort of house you want to live in. You write about the sort of car that you want to drive. You write about the sort of clothes that you want to have and want to wear. You write about the sort of kids you want to have. You write about the sort of partner that you want to have in as much detail as you possibly can, and you really get into the detail of it, and you write down a sort of a day in the life of, this is my life script. How does my life look every day if I am living the life that I want to live? How do I act? What do I do when I wake up in the morning time? Do I feel nervous or scared that I need to go to do a job that I don't want to do, or am I happier in who I am? Am I contented? And it's all about feeling, because the feeling, um, in the subconscious mind, the feeling sort of dictates the behaviors that we have. And we're going to get onto that one maybe a little bit more tomorrow when we talk about paradigms, because I'm going to share something with you tomorrow, which I think is absolutely amazing. And it is a diagram called the stick person. And the stick person will explain in the simplest form I have ever come across how your mind works, how the conscious mind works, and how the subconscious mind works. But anyway, that's for tomorrow. So if we go back onto the script of you, what you need to do is write down, as I said, a day in the life, and you describe it in as much detail as you possibly can. And then what you need to do is you need to read it. And I don't mean just read it once and put it in a drawer and forget about it. You need to read it, and you need to reread it, and you need to reread it until you are emotionally connected with it, and until you are um, believe your subconscious is beginning to believe that this is the actually you, the you that you want to be, is the you that you are working towards and that you've written about. So um, that is probably the biggest piece to changing your self-image. For most of us, we have um, grown up with criticisms, and we're probably our own biggest critics. And if I could talk to just about anybody in the world and tell them, um, if I could tell them one thing, and that thing is to really sort of believe, eh, to be gentler to ourselves, if that makes any sense. What we do is we are our biggest critics. We really, really are most critical of ourselves. And we need to, these are thoughts that are coming into our conscious mind. We're then believing these thoughts, and we're reinforcing these thoughts and turning them over to the subconscious mind. And that then affects our behavior, and that affects how we succeed or don't succeed. So what we need to do is we need to reject those thoughts. When those negative thoughts that we have about ourselves, whether it is that we're too fat, whether it is that we're too old, whether it is that we're too bald, whether it is whatever the case may be, we can reject those thoughts that come into our conscious mind and replace them with more positive thoughts. And those positive thoughts then will create positive beliefs in our subconscious mind. And from there, then that will create different actions, and those different actions will give us a different reaction or a different result. So, what I would encourage everybody to do is to start working on that script of you. Um, you can take a blank piece of paper and a pen. As I said, this is all we need to change our lives is a pen and a piece of paper, and we start writing, and it's the most powerful thing in the world. The How we retrain our subconscious mind is through repetition, and it's repetition through writing, because there's an emotional connection between our mind, our hand, and a piece of paper. And when we do that, we're not only just writing it on a piece of paper, we're actually writing it into our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind has to accept whatever we give it. So we really need to be careful what we're giving it, and we need to ensure that we're in giving it the most positive things that we possibly can. So what I would encourage everybody to do, again, and this is, let's say, your homework from today until tomorrow, is to start looking at writing the new script of you. Are you happy to be a supporting actor or to play a supporting role in the movie of your life? Your life is your movie, or are you going to be the star of your movie? For me, I choose to be the star of my movie, and I'm not no longer happy to be sitting on the sidelines as a supporting role, or even just playing a cameo role. And that's what so many people do. So many people just let life evolve and let life go on without their active participation. And life is about living. It's not about getting as safely as you can to death. It's about living. And in order to live, you need to do things. So that's maybe a little bit philosophical for today, but that's what I'd encourage you all to do. Um, Now, so I'm just go back. Did you do your homework? Do you have your top 100 wants done? I'd love to get them. I didn't get any in email between yesterday and today, but if you have them done, I would be delighted to get them and have a little bit of a chat with you. What I'd also like you to do is I'd like you to give me an email on the email address below, and I would send anybody who does a free copy of the book. Um, uh, Good, Shama. You want to be the star of your movie. I want you to be the star of your movie too, and we can be blockbusters together. How about that? Um, the I want to send you all a book written by Bob Proctor called "You Were Born Rich," and anybody who sends me an email, I'll send you a PDF copy of that book. It's an amazing read, and it talks an awful lot about what I'm talking about here today, in relation to self-image, but also setting goals, what I talked about yesterday, and then going on to what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and on Thursday and on Friday. So please, by all means, send me an email and I'll send you a free present. So just to recap again from today, so from yesterday, when you're talking about your goals, you want to have your type A, type B, or type C goals, preferably the type C goals. The madder, the crazier, the better. Yeah, as long as it is something that you want and it's something that's worthy of you. We always talk in PGI about big worthy goals, and it's goals that are, I mean, we all have a limited amount of time on this planet this time around. We've chosen to be here in the physical form that we are, and we have the idea of life is to have fun. So make sure that whatever it is that you're doing is um, worthy of you spending the time and effort that you're putting into these things. Okay. Secondly, self-image. So the image that you hold of yourself within your subconscious mind dictates how successful or otherwise you're going to be in whatever it is that you do. So if you are having negative results or you're not happy with the results that you currently are, sorry about all the birds, by the way. If you're not happy with the results that you currently have, well, then you need to look inwards and you need to you need to start trying to understand yourself. And you need to look at the image that you hold of yourself in your subconscious mind, because this image that you have, if it's not giving you the results that you want, it needs to change. Yeah. And be the star of your own movie. Yeah, take control of things and put down on paper what your goals are, and don't accept no for an answer and go for it. And it is as simple as that. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about something which is called paradigms. Okay, Shama, no problem. Apologies if my connection isn't great and it's cutting out, but I'll get your email address there and I'll send it on to you. No problem at all. I'll do that once we're finished. So tomorrow we're going to talk about paradigms, and a paradigm is something that is incredibly powerful in our subconscious mind. I'm going to share with you the diagram which I love, which is the stick figure. It is my favorite picture that I've ever come across. If I can give you a really quick sneak preview, yeah, that's it there. But we're going to talk about it in a little bit more detail tomorrow, because it explains how pretty much everything works. Um, did you know a paradigm controls about 90% of what you do every day, without you even knowing about it? Imagine that. Yeah, 90% of what you do every day is done without you even knowing that you're doing it or having conscious control over it. Um, So, and then on Thursday, we're going to talk about um, what I call the terror barrier. And the terror barrier is um, what stops you from actually stepping out of your comfort zone and striving to achieve what you want to achieve. It's something that knocks you straight back into your comfort zone where you're happy. Yeah. Well, not where you're happy, but where your paradigms control everything, because these paradigms are so powerful that it'll take you, once you go to step out, and it'll drag you back into where you are and go, hold on a second now. And don't be going out there. I don't know what to do out there. I want you to be back here where I can control what you're doing. So, and then on Friday we'll have a recap of the week, and again, then I'll give you some more information on what it is that I do, and so far as the Thinking into Results program. So, I would really love to hear from you, Sharma. I will 100% send that over to you on that email address, no problem. But if there's anybody else at all, you can feel free to send me an email on quantumleapconsultingirl@gmail.com. That is our email address. What else do I have? I wanted to say thank you, and that I would see you all then tomorrow, to talk about understanding paradigms, how they work, how to overcome them, and how to use a paradigm to your benefit, because there are both positive and negatives about paradigms. And because they're so strong, we can actually use them to our benefit to achieve what we want to achieve. But then I don't want to spoil that for tomorrow. Okay. We have about 10 seconds to go. I just want to say thank you again for showing up today. I really enjoyed having a chat with you. I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Follow me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, and reach out to me in any way you want. And we will see you again. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.